Good evening. My name is Ben Foltran, and this is the Groundview. This week, I had the opportunity to interview Senatorial Candidate Addison Smith and discuss her message, Consider the Wildflowers. I had a nice talk, and I hope you enjoy it just as much as I did on this segment of The Groundview.
Well, good evening, Addison. It's a pleasure to have you onto the Ground View this evening. Could you please just give yourself a brief introduction?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Like you said, my name is Addison Smith, and I am from South Carolina. And I have been involved with Teen Packs for almost 10 years. And I'm just super excited about this campaign and the opportunity to share this message and what the Lord has laid on my heart.
Fantastic. 10 years. That's quite a long time. Now,
Yes.
could you please go ahead and get into the your inspiration for running this year for Senate?
Absolutely. So, like I said, I've been in Teen Pack for so long, and I've had the chance to run for many offices at my state class. I never actually won any of them, which is quite funny considering I've been there for so long. But it was just such a cool opportunity running, and I love the experience of just getting to share kind of what God's laid on my heart and just get to share that with my state class. And then I went to NatCon last year and was just so inspired by the other campaigns there and their messages and all of the people running. And so that was just a huge inspiration for me seeing that and seeing the impacts that can have. I know the impacts that several campaigns there had on me personally. And so I just want to have the chance to share that and give that experience to someone else.
Fantastic. Well, of course, you have already announced what party you will be running in this year. Could you please just explain what made you choose that party?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am running in the Compassion Party, and although this is typically the smallest party, I chose this party for that reason. I love personal conversations. I love getting to meet people. I love one-on-one conversations in smaller groups. So for me, Compassion was the best party because it would give me that opportunity to hopefully meet more people within the party and have personal connections. And then I'm also supporting the Ralph Timmons campaign that is running in Compassion.
Oh, very good. Very good. Of course, Rob Timmons is currently unrivaled in compassion, so they will probably be making a big splash in generals straight away. Now, to get on with your message for your campaign this year, could you please just explain what it is and just kind of get into that?
Absolutely. So I am running with the message, consider the wildflowers. And this verse from Luke just has a lot of personal meaning to me. And so I wanted to share that with others. Luke 12:27 basically just says Jesus asked his followers to consider the wildflowers and to look at how they don't spin or weave or toil, but that God just provides for them. And he provides for them an even greater beauty and splendor than even Solomon was clothed with. And so for me, whenever I am anxious or stressed or struggling with something, I always go outside, and I live on a farm. So I'll go out in the field and I'll just look at the wildflowers and I'll reflect on that and see how faithful God has been just to clothe those little wildflowers in such beauty. And it just reminds me of his faithfulness and how I don't have to be anxious about the future or anything about it because God has already provided for every detail of creation. And so just looking at how he's provided for creation just makes me reflect on how much more faithful he's even going to be to me, his daughter. So that's just been a super impactful verse for me and something that I'm super excited to share with the Teen Pack Nation.
Very good. Of course, a lot of people have heard of, that kind of story of, if God provides for such little, of course he'll provide for his children. And could you please just kind of go into the actual real life application of how we can add that to our day-to-day lives and our actions?
Absolutely. I think there's two parts to this. First, I think an important part is getting outside of yourself. When you're struggling with something, it can be so easy to stay in your own head, to just be fueled by your emotions and what you're thinking. But for me, something super important has been to go and do something, to go see something, to watch something, and to just get out of my head for that moment. And that's been something super helpful for me when I'm walking through difficult seasons. And so the encouragement with this is to find what makes you reflect on God's faithfulness. I think that can be different for everyone. I don't think it's wildflowers for everyone. I asked in my campaign, what some things are that people reflect on when they think about God's faithfulness. People said the mountains, the beach, the sunsets. And so it's not wildflowers for everyone, but I think it is finding that thing, that piece of creation that makes you reflect on God's faithfulness, and then going to that and considering that when you're walking through a difficult season. And then the other part of that is I don't think we can share our testimony effectively unless we reflect on God's faithfulness in our own lives. So I think that by taking time to reflect on God's faithfulness, then we're able to process that and share that with others and hopefully be an encouragement to them.
Well, that is very wonderful. I do like your message that you have chosen for your campaign this year. Now, to kind of deviate from the whole campaign portion of it, would you mind just kind of explaining any Teen Pact memory or moment that you were a part of or that you witnessed at any event that just kind of stands out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the most significant moments for me kind of happened over the course of 2 years. This was my second year staffing. And so when I staffed for the first time last year, I led a rendezvous, and it was an amazing rendezvous. It was such a cool opportunity to get to lead that. And we had really, really cool conversations. But I think sometimes it becomes the standard at Teen Pact events to have like dramatic life change happen, Wednesday night at a Teen Pact event. And that didn't happen within my rendezvous. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Did I not do something right? Why isn't this happening? And so I really questioned my ability to lead. And then coming back to staff my state class again this year, some of the girls from my rendezvous were there again. And from the moment they walked in the room, they were a completely different person. You could just tell in their demeanor and their confidence and the way they approached the program that God had done something incredible through them over the past year. And so for me, it was really cool reflecting on the fact that, well, I didn't see the fruit right away, that coming back a year later, God just completely transformed their lives. And so that was just a really cool experience for me, just looking at how faithful God had been and that I didn't need to doubt my ability to lead just because I didn't see the results right away.
Oftentimes, patience it can be very important, especially when you're doing God's work and you can't see that immediate reaction.
Absolutely.
I like that story. That is a good story in patience and a good lesson.
Absolutely.
Now, as we begin to close here, are there any final remarks you'd like to give to the Teen Pact Nation? Anything that you just like to say to the people watching?
Absolutely. I just want to encourage anyone watching to join my campaign if you haven't already. Right now, it is a core group of people I know within Team Pact, but I'm hoping to start expanding it, just opening it up to new people. And I love GroupMe, but I am not focusing on that. I truly want to focus on having conversations with people in my campaign, and just getting to know them. So I just want to encourage everyone to reach out to me about my message, and what I'm running with. And also, I would just love to meet all of you in NatCon. If you join my group I can give you my phone number. I would love to meet up with you and talk with you and just get to kind of share what God's been doing in my life and what He's put on my heart. And I'm super excited for this opportunity.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on to the Groundview this evening. It's been a pleasure to have you on. You have just a good rest of your evening.
Thank you so much.